Tactical Solutions TSG 22. This is a conversion kit that you can get for your Glock. Includes a 4-page manual. How to install. You remove the slide and you install the new slide. Cleaning instructions. Dismantling and reassembly. Lubrication. A couple drops here and a couple drops there. Magazine cleaning and disassembly. And reassembly, of course. A complete parts list. Ammunition recommendations. Follow these. Your best bet is a high velocity ammunition. I found my best bet is with the CCI and the Aguila Hyper red box stuff that I've talked about in my other videos. The paper also contains replacement parts and an address and all where you can directly contact them. And I'll hold this here long enough that you can write that down. So what the kit actually contains is a slide, magazines. So you remove your slide, and this slide fits right on. Oh, let's see if we can focus on that. It's pretty well constructed. I've got some red on here from color marking it. It looks pretty similar to your standard Glock barrel. Once you start disassembling it, you can see the difference. So it's got this little operating rod here. It's got the difference on the lower half of the barrel assembly. Doesn't have the cutouts. And it's got this to hold the spring in there. You got to push it all the way, most of the way forward, and then slide it back. You can see how it's got a notch in it. The notch goes forward. For the spring, you've got, just like your standard magazine, your Ford spring of the Glock. It's just a little different. And it's just that simple for assembly. For shooting purposes, it shoots exactly the same as your Glock because it is your Glock. But you're going to have to, when you first get the kit, you're going to have to be aware that it's going to want to have a lot of failure to feed and failure to extract because you're wearing a whole bunch of sharp surfaces. I've had mine for about a year and a half now, and it's finally starting to become a lot smoother. But I really don't use it a whole bunch in comparison to the standard Glock calibers that I shoot. Speaking of Glock calibers, I've got my standard slide here, and in here I've got a Lone Wolf 9mm adapter barrel. It's for the G22, as you can see, which means it's got the outer diameter for the 40 Smith & Wesson barrel, but it's got the inner diameter and rifling for 9mm. When you do this conversion by simply swapping out the magazine, the barrel, you're going to want to swap out magazines. The 40 Smith & Wesson will hold the 9mm, but once you start putting in more than 6 rounds, it's going to have a tendency to cause the round to pop out because of the spring tension. Well, that's what I've got to say. It's actually a pretty good kit for shooting. It allows you to get younger adults and somebody with doesn't have the wrist strength to shoot a full-size caliber, full-size round, or is intimidated by it. It's a nice way of breaking them into shooting. Use a higher velocity ammunition, and you should really be happy with it. I enjoy mine. Thanks, bye.